Welcome to Where There's a Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian, your Make a Bugsy Casual Gamer.
I'm Stacey, I'm your non-gamer gamer.
Today we are here with a 5Ws review of Run 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 2nd Edition, designed by Bruno Cathala and Anthony Perrone, with art by Camilla Chaucy, and brought to us by 25th Century Games, who provided this game for review.
In Run Run Run, you and your fellow players take on the role of cat archaeologists exploring a mysterious Egyptian pyramid. Your mission? Stop the advancing mummies from reaching the pharaoh's vault and unleashing chaos.
Now let's get down to the table for a quick walkthrough. Alright, we're down at the table and you can see we are set up, and in the middle of a 3-player game. We have the purple, orange, and blue cats out there. We have our boss mummy card. There are 3 boss mummy cards. You shuffle them, put one of them face down. You don't know which boss mummy is going to come up, so you're going to put all 3 boss mummies. You have your regular mummies and our mummy meeples right here. There's 3 hearts on here. I'll explain how to get those in just a minute. We have our cooperation tiles. We have our stack of room tiles. We have our torch mechanics. We have our door mechanics. In a standard game, you play with 3 of these. In a hard, you play with 4. And in an epic game, or the hardest level, you play with 5 of them. We have our sarcophagus tokens. We have our fire torch tokens. We have our mummy dice with 2 extra ones to the side. They may come into play at some point during a game. And we have our combat dice. And we have our 3 characters. In a 3-player game, everybody has 4 of these, unless they can get to them at some point. You start the game with 5 torches. As you are laying down tiles, you are going to need torches in order to move into rooms. So a turn is played over 2 different phases. First, you have the mummy actions. And the mummy action is simply roll a dice and see what you get. Now, I got a mummy symbol, so I am going to put a heart on this mummy. If 5 hearts go on this mummy is going to arise in the tomb. You get to place it wherever you want, and then it is going to slowly make its way to the pharaoh's vault. If it gets to this room, it does stop, but it will get through this door on the next turn. And that is the mummy's turn. If there were any mummies out there, first you would move any mummies this many spaces. So if I had one of these, I would move it 1 space. If I was rolling multiple dice, I might have to move it 2 spaces. So you move it for every mummy symbol you have. And some of the mummy cards allow them to move 1 extra space. So keep that in mind as you're playing. Then you do the player action. The player's action, there are 3 possible actions. The first action is to explore. In exploring, you are going to place a tile down, and then if there is a torch symbol, you don't have to do anything else. If there's no torch symbol, you have to place a torch down to light up the room. If you cannot do that, you have to place a heart on the mummy. If you go into a sarcophagus room, you will get a sarcophagus token, which will give you some bonuses. You can see the purple player has one of those already. Then you are also trying to do a couple different things. If you get 3 of the same symbol, you get a torch mechanic, and you get to add 5 torches to your cache over here. If you have 3 different symbols, like we are looking at possibly over here somewhere, you will get a door mechanic. I said 3 of these. These penalize you because these penalize you immediately, but it gets you closer to opening up or releasing the boss mummy, which you have to defeat in order to win the game. So we are in the middle of a game. We've taken several turns, so we're going to go to the purple player. Purple player is looking over here. They are noticing they're low on torches, so we are going to try and get some torches here. We're going to try and get 3 blues in a row. Whenever you place a tile down, you can move up to 3 places. So I can't place it like over here because I can't get to it in 3 places. Well, I can place it there, but I would have to discard tiles. And you don't want to do that. So let's do the explore action, and then I will talk about the other 2 actions. So he's going to look at his tiles here. You are not communicating with others, like I said, so I'm looking for a tile here that can be placed in here. When you place a tile, all the sides must match. You can't block off anything. So he has this. So he's going to explore. He's going to place that. He's going to move. He's going to light it up. Now we have 3 blue symbols here. I believe that's the Eye of Horus. And so we get 5 torches added, which is good because we were running out of torches. It's 3, 4, 5. Then to end his turn, he's going to draw another tile and put it on his pile. Now it's the orange player's turn. The orange player is over here. they are looking at this and they're going, you know what, let's try to get close to this boss mummy. So they're going to put this out. And what this does is this, now he's going to go here. He's going to light it up. I have 3 different symbols. I have the Ankh, the Omega symbol, and the Eye of Horus. I believe it, like I said. So I can take one of these gear mechanisms and I put it here. Now, you'll notice this is going to take a tile away from someone. So collectively, everybody's going to decide who is going to get rid of a tile. Now, these guys have some special abilities. This guy, when he fights, it allows him to add a tile if he gets a question mark on it. So he's going to say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of one of these because I can hopefully add some later. So he's going to get rid of tiles. So now he's down to 3 tiles in his hand. Now, you could get back up to 4 or even more than 4 in a 3-player game. And then blue player is going to take a turn. Oh, orange is it done. So this also needs to add 2 hearts. So we add a heart. And this is going to awaken one of the mummies. So we slide those off. That is their health. This mummy is coming out. We'll do that in just a minute. And it is going to, the second heart is going to go on the next mummy. So you can place him anywhere. Now we notice someone is going to have to get rid of a tile. Also, we have to get rid of 3 torches. That lightning bolt means immediately. So 2 of these torches have to go away. Good thing we earned a bunch. And then this guy's going to come out. Now, he's going to move however many spaces, however many of mummy symbols are. Thankfully, we are only rolling 1 dice. But he is going to take the quickest route to get to a place. Now, with it being the blue player's turn, I could put him there. We're going to put him over here on purple, though, for now. I'm going to stand him up because these tiles are a little small to put a lot of stuff on. So we're going to put them there. That is the end of the turn because they move before you place hearts. So even though, and this mechanic was in the player's action, he's not going to move this turn because I was in the player's action. Now, this is the end of his turn. He's going to draw a tile and place it there. The blue player is going to draw tiles. Play a tile. He's going to play this sarcophagus. Now, he's kind of trapping himself here. But he doesn't have to spend a torch, and he gets one of these tokens. This token is going to allow him to get 2 tiles, so that's good. Now, he does not have to use this right now, but if he does, he can get 2 tiles. The other use for these tokens is you can use it to use the secret passages in the tomb and move anywhere you want, ignoring the movement rules. So he can move all the way here to try and block the mummy. What he's going to do is he's actually going to use this right now, because he wants to get 2 tiles back. Now now that's the end of his turn, so he goes there. So that is the explore action and what happens in the 3 different types of things that might happen in the explore action. Whether you are getting through the same 3 different, or maybe a sarcophagus room. The next action is the fight action. So the first thing the purple player is going to do, he's going to roll the dice. The mummy's not going to move. So the mummy's not going to move because I got none of these and he doesn't have an extra movement. So he is going to fight. Now, in order to fight, I have to discard a tile. Now, when I do this, I'm going to look at how many openings there are into a room because that tells me how many dice I can roll. I can use more than one of these, but I can't roll more than 6 dice. So this one has 5, 2, 2, and 2. So I'm going to discard this, even though it's got a torch on it. And I'm going to roll 5 of the combat dice. And, oh good, I got lots of different options here. So I have 3 of these symbols, which means I have taken some of his health. He has an extra one here, and I'm going to actually use that right now. So this sarcophagus tile he got earlier in the game allows him to take an extra health, so that's good. Then this symbol is a question mark. Now, the purple player's special ability is he gets a sarcophagus tile. So he's going to get another sarcophagus tile, and this one is going to give him 2 tiles later, or I can use it to move anywhere. And then this symbol allows me to lure the mummy anywhere in the vault. Right now, the mummy's quickest path is 1, 2, 3. If I go here, it's 1, 2, 3. If I go here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So his quickest path is here, but the orange player is next. So I want this orange player to have a good chance to be able to defeat him. So I think I'm actually going to lure. Well, the mummy's probably going to move. He can move up to 3 spaces. Well, we're going to lure the mummy here. So I go with him, and you ignore movement rules. So I'm going to go with him so that the mummy is over here by the orange player. This is my turn, or purple player's turn. Draw the tile. Orange player is going to first roll. Mummy's not going to move. Got lucky. So the orange player is going to attack. Now, the orange player has a special ability that they get an extra attack for every question mark. So they know that they've only got 1 heart left. So they're going to be risky. They're going to roll 3 dice. And they're hoping that they get at least 1 attack or a question mark and maybe some other stuff that helps them. So they're going to roll that. Get those back. So they got a question mark and 2 attacks. So they definitely defeated the mummy. The mummy goes back. Now this mummy goes to the bottom of the thing because it may rise again, as they say. All right, and so that is the orange player's turn. They're going to take a tile, and now it's the blue player's turn. The third impossible action that a player may take is to cooperate. And in order to cooperate, you are going to use the cooperate, and any players that want are going to move over to that player's tile. We're going to just move everybody for sake of this demonstration. They're going to draw this. So there's going to be 1 sarcophagus tile, and then there's going to be 3 or token, and then 3 tiles. So the sarcophagus tile is going to give 3 torches. So that they're going to use that right away because they're running low on torches. Nobody's even going to take it. Then they're going to divvy these up. Now, looking at this, everybody's got about the same number of tiles. They would look at what they have and say, oh, that would be really good for me. I would like that. So we're just going to divvy these up. And then what you can do is players can then put up to 2 tiles into a trade. So blue player is going to put those 2. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Orange player, we're just going to grab top, is going to put those 2, let's say. And the purple player has these 2 on top. They're just going to put those 2. And then players can talk about who wants to take which things. You can only cooperate 3 times a game. Now, the boss mummy. The boss mummy comes out when you have 3 of these mechanics. As soon as the boss mummy comes out, none of the other mummies can come out. But if there's mummies already out here, they are still on the board until you defeat them. But there's none out there, so this heart's going to go away. Let's just say the boss mummy came out. We have this boss mummy. You're going to put 13 hearts on him as health, but you have to get rid of 4 tiles combined. He is going to move an extra spot, and you cannot lure him anywhere. So this boss mummy, we're going to put him with us because all 3 of us are here. So we've set ourselves up good. Like I said, he's going to move an extra spot. So the next person is going to roll. So he moves 1 for this, and he's going to move 1 more because he moves that extra spot. Obviously, the purple player is going to go and try and attack him as much as possible. This is the point where you probably are going to be trying to, discard so you can roll 6 dice every single time. And that is how you play. To win the game, you have to defeat the boss mummy and have no other mummies on the board as well. Like I said, if any of the mummies make it into this room, including the boss mummy, they stop even if they have more moves left. And you have to defeat them because they will break through the door into the Pharaoh's tomb on the next turn. And there you have a quick rundown of how to play Run, Run, Run.
And now back for some wins of this game. I like the theme of this game. It comes through very strong. It's very Indiana Jones type adventure in the tomb. With Pharaoh's treasures you're trying to get, and you are trying to stop the mummies, and so you're chasing after the mummies, trying to get them stopped and off of the board.
Yep. I didn't talk about this in the walkthrough, but the solo mode is really good as well. It plays exactly the same as the cooperative multiplayer game, except for you have 6 tiles. And you are the only one that can see all of them. So I think it also makes it a little easier. It does make it a slightly different game because you have you are looking at all the tiles, so you can kind of plan stuff out. But you can also still use the cooperation, those regroup tiles, just to get the bonuses off them.
And I really enjoy that the playtime is minimal for this game. I would say it plays with 2 players in about 30 to 40 minutes.
The replayability with the different mummies, the different boss mummies, the way the mummies come out, the way the tiles come out, there's going to be a lot of different things that happen in the way you play your tiles down. So I think there's a decent amount of replayability in this game.
And the artwork and the components, I really enjoyed the artwork and the components. The artwork is, it's heat transferred on these really chunky, thick tiles. And the artwork on the cards themselves is very playful. The cats each have their own little magic, not magic, but their personality that comes through really well with this game as well.
And now let's get on to some weaknesses or some woes, some things that you might need to think about before possibly purchasing this game.
So one of the things that I brought up is that the size of the meeples versus the size of, the size of the meeples. If you have 2 on there, it's really hard to see, or if you have one of the specialty tiles that goes on there, it's really hard to see where the entrance is to that room, because each tile is basically an individual room in the Pharaoh's area that you're trying to get into. And the chunky size of these is kind of difficult to see where all of the entrances into that room are. I had to keep leaning over, trying to look around them to see how to get in and out of certain rooms. So to me, that was a little bit of a downer. The entrances are hard to distinguish. They needed to make them a little bit wider so that older people like myself can see those better. And the borders could be a little bit wider to distinguish where the walls are.
Yeah, I think once you start getting the meeples on there and your torches on there, and when you start putting the mechanic things in the corners, it kind of blocks them stuff up. It makes it hard to see, wait, is there an entrance over there, or is that blocked off? So I do agree. I think, if these were just a little bit bigger and the where there isn't entrances, that one, it's easy to tell. But one that has a lot of entrances, you can see once you start putting like these things in the corners, if you're putting stuff like this in the corners, and then you got a meeple standing on it, and you have a torch and you've got a torch standing on, all of a sudden you've got like all these things on this tile. It does, I agree, it does make it a little tough to see what's going on that tile.
But I do really love the meeples.
Yeah, these are great. These meeples and the boss monsters, the boss mummies are just amazing. There is a humongous luck factor in this game, which can lead to a lot of frustration. It feels like the dice control the game almost more than the players do, because you are rolling these dice to place mummies and to place hearts on the mummies to awaken them and to move them around. And then your combat dice that you're using, if you don't get the combat symbol, I mean, we've seen somewhere, like, I rolled 6 dice one time. I had 1 combat symbol and nothing else I could use. So the mummy then, when it's Stacey's turn and she does the mummy actions, the mummy now moves further away. And it just keeps getting further away. And now all of a sudden, like, it is too far for me to even get to it, because it's now moved on Stacey's turn, then on my turn again. I mean, it could be, 2, 3, 4, moves away when you do that. And so that can get a little frustrating, that lucky dice. So like I said, the between the mummy dice and, are they moving? Are they not moving? Are you adding hearts? Are you not adding hearts? Am I attacking them? Am I not attacking them? Am I getting a question mark, which allows me to use my ability? Or am I getting a bunch of stuff that just is completely useless to me right now? It can feel very frustrating, and it's not lucky frustration in a good way like you see in like a push your luck game. Like in a push your luck game, you want it. It's exciting to do that. Oh man, I didn't get it. In this, it's just like, oh, I didn't get it. Now the mummy is going to be too far away for me to move to it to attack it. So in order to get to it, I'm going to have to spend an extra tile so I can move there, but now I have less tiles in my hand. So that luck factor in this game can get very, very frustrating and make the game very swingy.
And there's some weird communication rules in this game as well. They're really weird. In the rule book, it tells you that you can't talk and communicate by saying, "Hey, I have this color, or I have a flame to light the whatever
this symbol, I have this many entrances."
You can't talk or discuss about what you have, but you can point, and if somebody
grunt and moan and make all sorts of noises and ask, "Oh, me."
And you can hint with gestures about that you can fill that position to get a reward for that. But it's just kind of conflicting rules to me. Either tell me to talk or tell me not to communicate, but don't tell me that I can't talk, but I can, do everything else but tell you what I have.
Yeah. It's like, obviously, if I'm pointing there, I have something that can go there. So, it is, I agree. And I think when I played it solo after we played it multiplayer a couple times, that is actually where, like, the strategy came in, because, like, I could see, that's where the solo mode is, because I can see everything. So I can plan everything out. Like, I can go, I can do this. Oh, I'm going to put this over here. And yeah, the communication rules are just a little odd. The other thing, the torch and door mechanisms. They're very simple to understand, and they add tension to the game, but that tension sometimes feels more frustrating because, like, oh, well, if I don't have torches, I can't explore. You only start with 5 of them, which is kind of part of the story of the game. So I need to get more torches, but if I don't have the right tiles, then it's going to be hard for me to get torches. And if you go and explore when you don't have torches, then you put more hearts on your mummies. And the door mechanisms, as well, you need to get those, but, like, if you aren't in a good spot to do that, it's hard to get them. We also felt like when you place them was a little weird and a little, like, odd. Like, you place a torch mechanism when you get 3 of the same symbol. It just felt weird, like, oh, I have to get 3 of the same symbol for a torch when you have rooms that have torches. Like, it made more sense to us. Like, if I were to have 3 rooms next to each other that had a torch, hey, look, maybe you can light more torches. Like, you found more torches. There's more torches because you have 3 of them. So, like, you were able to light more torches because there's now more torches. And then the door mechanism as well. And I'll kind of talk more about my thoughts on when I think these should be done in my final thoughts later. But, the matching of what you had to match or not match to get those things, it felt it felt clunky overall. And, like, if you weren't in a good spot to do it, or you didn't have the tiles, then you just kind of felt pointless. And, like, sometimes you almost had to, like, oh, well, I can't do that, so now I got to do something else, hopefully. So, it felt a little clunky.
One thing that I did forget to mention is, besides the fact that I'm old and my eyes don't work very well, is that I kind of wish that the size of the tiles themselves were also just a little bit bigger. I mean, I kind of understand why they are the size they are, because when you're laying them down, you are kind of taking up some space, and so you do need a little bit more space if they were bigger. But the size that they are, I just wish that the meeples were just a little bit smaller. So, for a non-gamer gamer, the complexity for this game, it looks and feels like it should be a family game. You've got the cats with the torches running from the giant mummy in the back. It looks like it should be a good family game, but the complexity doesn't really match that. This is a fairly complex game for younger kids. I mean, I had a tough enough time trying to comprehend it for a non-gamer gamer. Maybe there's some kids out there who really love complex games and can really figure these out. But to me, this is kind of an older family, if that makes sense, type of game.
I don't know who it says 8 and up, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be very family friendly, but this is a pretty big rule book, and, like, some of these actions, they've got, like, 3 pages for, like, doing stuff, and you're like, that seems like a lot for a game for 8-year-olds. Like, I think that goes into the clunkiness. There's like a lot of rules for a game that looks as cute as this. Like this box is telling me, hey, cute, family, fun, young kid, maybe game. And you get into it and you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff to think about as you're doing
when you have
this.
to go back and check the rule book that many times during a game, I don't consider that a family-friendly game. I consider if you can go through the rule book one time and not have to go back because you completely understand it, family game.
Or at least 90% of it, 95% of it, you know? Maybe a couple clarifications. But.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say this is for 8 and up. I think they underestimated their age group or overestimated. I'm not sure which one it is.
I think it's just a lot of the clunkiness that goes with it.
Yeah.
My next one is the regroup action. While it does give you some nice bonuses, it feels like, first of all, you can only do it 3 times. There's 3 regroups. It feels more like a way just to quickly move across the board. Like, we need to get over there. The mummy's over there. We need to get both people. We need to, when the mummy comes out, or the boss mummy, we need to get the people in the spot where the boss mummies are so that they can, like, attack them and alleviate them. So we're going to regroup. The boss mummy's here. Now we're all in the same spot, but you are way over on the other side of the tomb exploring. Which I guess kind of goes into the communication rule because you are in different parts of the tomb, but still. But overall, this just feels like a wasted action. Like the explore action and the, do they call it attack? Or the fight action. The explore action and the fight action, those feel like actions. This whole thing with the regroup, this feels like it should have been done a different way. And this brings me kind of back to the mechanics of the door and torch mechanics. I kind of feel like this could have been a regroup mechanic. And with it showing 3 of the 4 cats, the blue cat gets left out of regrouping. You know, they got 3 of the 4. But I almost feel like the door mechanic could have been like if you get 3 of the same symbol, but then they could have added like you can only do each symbol once. Like, so if you're using 3, if you're doing 3 or something, or like 3 of the same symbol, it almost makes more sense. Like, oh, you match symbols. Now this door is starting to open because you've matched things on this lock. And 3 torches, 3 rooms with torches in a triangle made sense for the torches. This would have made sense for 3 different symbols because you have, I mean, even since they have 3 different cats on there, you have different people grouping back together. So different symbols grouping up. And you could have still done only like 3 of them. Cause like you do with the door mechanic, you have 3 of them in the simple mode. You could have done that in that mode. And I think that would have been a better way to do the regroup, personally.
Or maybe even start out with each person with the regroup to randomly pick one to use. I don't know. It just didn't make sense.
As an action, it just doesn't. It was like, oh, we're in completely different spots of the tomb. The mummy's over there. We need to be by the mummy so we get, okay, let's use the regroup. Yes, it gives us some tiles possibly, or some torches, or a sarcophagus token. But it felt more like it was just let's get over there quickly so we can both be where the mummies are so we can attack the mummies every single turn.
Yeah.
And not to regroup. So it was just a little, you can trade some tiles. I mean, whatever, you know. All right. And now on to our wrap up and final thoughts. Why don't you start us off here?
So I played this game 2 times. Ian, 3 times. Oh yeah, 3 times.
2, and then I played solo, then
That's
I played
right,
1.
and then we played 1. So the first time I played this, I I was almost literally in tears trying to play it. Trying to figure out, we had to keep going back to the rule book, trying to figure out everything. It just wasn't clicking with me. I wasn't comprehending what I was supposed to be doing. I couldn't figure out in what order I was supposed to be doing stuff because the turn summary is on the back of the instruction book, and I wanted my own little card that I could follow along. with. So then the second time after I had this closer to me where I could keep checking it, I actually enjoyed this a little bit more. And then the third time when we finally won and we figured out what way we were going to actually go after the zombies, of course it's funner when you win. Or mummies. Mummies, zombies.
Not zombies.
I don't
Two
know the
completely different things.
I don't know the difference. I don't know. But of course winning is more fun than losing, and I don't like to lose. So, of course I'm not going to like it when I lose the first 2 games that I play. But when we won, I enjoyed that one. And we figured out how to use the door mechanisms and at what point we should put those in there. So for a non-gamer gamer, I think it's just going to take you a couple tries to get used to it. And to get past the clunkiness of the directions and the communication. But all in all, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's right in the middle with me. I don't know. How about you?
I got one more win for you.
Oh, yes. The
personal win.
This is my own personal win. It comes with orange.
Which, as you can tell, her favorite
it's
color.
My favorite color.
It's our theme for this month is orange.
So this was on my wall for my birthday month, which is August. I celebrate my birthday all month long. So this was on my wall. My theme was orange components. And so this was the biggest win of this game. Was it came with the orange cat and the orange token.
Nice. Yeah, I have very similar thoughts to Stacey. Our first 2 games, we were clarifying stuff so much, and then we realized we played some stuff wrong with the rooms, and we missed something. We were connecting rooms slightly wrong. We missed something where it said you couldn't connect and block off a path at all. We just thought you had to, if you had a path, you had to connect to a path that you were going through. Which probably led to a little bit of our frustration, but you still had paths that were going through the tomb. And just the first couple games, it felt like there was no way to win. Mm-hmm. Like, we got some good damage on the mummy, on the boss mummy, and then the mummy was just, like, taking off. And he was so far ahead of us, like, there was no way to even catch him, to do anything. And so the second game, we're like, okay, we need to make sure we don't get the boss mummy out until we have a really super long path away from him. And then it just felt like the game lasted too long. Mm-hmm. Because we were trying to do that. Then I played solo, and I played it in like 20 minutes because I could see everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I got the mummy out there quick. I stayed ahead by getting the mummies gone immediately so that they weren't out there. Once the boss mummy comes out, like I said in the walkthrough, no other mummies can come out. So if you can keep those other ones off before the boss mummy, then you only have to worry about the boss mummy. First couple games, we didn't do that. We had extra mummies out there, at least one extra mummy out there. And then we play it again, and I did enjoy it better that time. I still think the communication rule is a little weird. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one's middle for me. I mean, it's not, a low game for me. It's not a high game for me. It's one that I would get out and play. It does take a bit of setup with having to get all the mummies cards and mummies and the tiles and all the little things. So that's another thing for this one is there's a lot of stuff to get out. I almost wonder if these should just be in a bag.
Probably.
Like the tiles, it'd be nice if the tiles were in a bag because then you could just randomly draw tiles out, which would be nice. But yeah, so this is a decent game. It's not one that I think would be like, oh hey, you want to play Run this weekend? It'll be like, every once in a while, like, oh yeah, we got Run. Let's play it. It won't be. I don't think it'll be one that'll be in the forefront of our mind. But we'll be looking at our shelves for something to play, and we're like, oh, that's a good. You want to play a kind of a quick playing cooperative game, other than some of our cooperative games, which are a little bit longer. We'll get it out. It's a decent game. We'll keep it around for a while. So
the one thing that really upset me about this is that Ian punched everything out before I got home from work, and so I didn't get the joy and the pleasure of punching everything out.
I wanted to have it
is my favorite.
I wanted to have it set up. Yes, there were like 13 punch boards with all the tiles and stuff.
Very satisfying, but I missed out, so I had to punch bubbles.
All right, anybody. Anyway, there is our review of Run 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 Second Edition. There was a First Edition. I'd never even heard of the game. I've heard that the original game was even more clunky, though, maybe. And maybe not many people actually played the original one. This is a decent game. Just know what you're kind of getting into before you get into it. If you've played it, let us know what your thoughts on it. If it looks interesting to you, let us know. Once again, this is Ben. Where there's a Wills,
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we'll see you next time.
At the table.